Jai Shri Krishna. Today we are going to discuss a very interesting topic which I've been getting a lot of questions and feedback from many people. And the topic for today will be the essence of four yugas, the time, right? All the yugas. So this is going to be the essence of four yugas part 1. So I'll definitely put a part 2 for it. So please watch part 2 as well, but first watch part 1. All right? So before we start today's session, I'll just bring the regular bells and whistles. Yeah. So please do click the bell button for the notification and the subscription as well, so that you are updated to the latest and greatest videos that I post. 2, please share your comments in the feedback session, comment session as well. It will help all of us, including myself. Yeah. And many of you have already shared, so thank you, and I really appreciate it. Third one is I do teach weekly classes in Clubhouse, which will be Wednesday, 7:20 p.m. Central Time. You have to download the Clubhouse app in iOS or Android before you can get in, and it's free. And all you have to enroll in the Vedic Astrology Club. Yeah, it's free live sessions on Vedic Astrology. Also, there are close to, I would say, 4 years of recorded sessions in Clubhouse. Yeah, archive. So you can also listen to that. All of it is in the Vedic Astrology Club. All right, let's get to the topic, the most interesting one we are going to discuss today, and which is also essential. Yeah. This is about the essence of yugas, the time. We often, right, so many times hear about the 4 yugas, the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, right? What does it mean, and why should I know all of this? What is the relevance, and does it really matter? But you have to know the history, you have to know the time, you have to know the cycle. Okay, because it's kind of connected with dharma and karma. Yeah, okay. Again, this is not a story or a mythology piece of time, right? It is not linear as well. It is very circular. Think of something cyclical, right? That is what it is. It is actually the path and evolution of dharma. Okay, dharma. Now, dharma here is defined in a very different way. It's called the balance, okay, that holds the elements of life together. Okay, it's a balance, right? Think about, for a layman, right? Think about a car with 4 wheels and tires, right? That's for a layman to understand that it is standing on 4 wheels. Okay, that's the best thing. And let's say what happens if all the 4 wheels has the tire, the tube, and all those things. Okay, if there is a flat tire in one, what happens? Right, you drive the car, right? What happens if there is flat tire at the same time in 2 of your wheels, right? Then 3, right? That is what we're going to kind of speak about today. But I just thought I will connect that to a car, okay, with 4 wheels. So the yugas are broken down into 4. We start from Satya Yuga, then we come to Treta Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, and then Kali Yuga, which is where we are here today, little over 5,115 years or so, right? So as these yugas change, the time change, there is reduction, right? Reduction. What is reduction? Think of waning or fading. Okay, what waits, wanes, what fades is the question. Truth, ethics, moral, purity, compassion, even lifespan. All of this will reduce. Nothing is going to go up. Okay, this is not a shift of time, but a timely shift of human morals and values. Okay, all right. First, we'll understand about the birth of dharma. When Brahma, was given the 4 Vedas. Initially, it was 1 Veda, and it was made into 4 for simplification: the Rig Veda, the Yajur, the Atharva, and Sama Veda by Vishnu. Vishnu is the creator of the Vedas. Brahma is the gatekeeper of the Vedas, right? When he was given the Vedas to do the creation, He started creating universe. He started creating a lot of things. Saptarishis came in, Narada came in, Daksha Prajapati, all of them came. In that process also, Dharma emerged from his heart of Brahma. Okay, from his heart, Dharma emerged, right? It was just not an energy, okay, but it is, think of this way as a rule or even a rule, right? It's more like a living principles, right? The way of life, the living principle of life. We also kind of associate that today with Sanatana Dharma. Exactly, the Dharma becomes Sanatana Dharma, right? Think of today, we have 12 rashis and all, right? 12 rashis, 27 nakshatras, 9 planets, etc. But there are two rashis which play a very important part, which has this balance, this dharma karma balance, right? Two rashis, right? The karma balance is in two rashis, the dharma balance is in one. The karma balance, where you see it, is in Libra as a scale, okay, in Libra. And then the second karma balance is in Makara, where in the form of Uttarashada energy and the Vishwadevas, you have that. A Libra again. This is more like a karma. The Dharma energy is in Sagittarius. Okay, so that is where you see one of the best yogas in Vedic astrology is called the Dharma Karmatipati Yoga. Okay, that is the best yoga. All right. So now but if you see, the dharma and karma is kind of connected with only 2-3 rashis. The other 9 rashis doesn't literally have this energy. Okay. So in a way, if you see, it's very limited. Okay. So dharma, coming back, was represented as standing on 4 legs. Okay. A cow. Car is also another example which I am giving, but cow is the one which always they say as per our Vedas. Okay, each leg represents a core principle or a virtue. Okay, so one of them is truth, second is knowledge, third is purity, and fourth is compassion. Right? Think of the 4 wheels of the car: truth, knowledge, purity, and compassion. Okay, these were not like taken for granted or optional values. Okay, they form the core pillars of existence of dharma, which is also Sanatana Dharma in a way. As long as these 4, okay, they remain strong, okay, and they're intact, the world will always be at peace and harmony. Okay, that is the rule here. The 4 legs of dharma, if you see, each leg represents a key virtue. So Satya, which is the truth, Gyan, which is the knowledge, right? Shuddhata, which is the purity, and Daya is the compassion. Okay. Again, these are just not like random ideas, right? But they are the guiding principles, the way of living of life, right? And at the time of the creation of the universe, right, all the 4 of them were strong and they were equal in a way, and they were creating a balance. Think about when you do the car, there is something called a wheel alignment, right? You have to balance the wheels also, right? So that they are all running in the same, level and equilibrium as well. Okay. But this is how it was created. But as time moved forward, okay, and progressed, right, human actions began to, right, tamper these values. Okay, shortcuts was done, wrong things was done, lies was done, other mixed stuff was done. Okay, the decline of these virtues, right, is kind of also embedded in these yugas in a way. It is actually not the time that changes first. It is actually the behavior, approach, and thought process. What is all connected to the mind? That is one of the reason moon becomes an extremely important planet. Plus moon, wherever moon is sitting, right, it is also called your Rashi. And whose nakshatra is sitting, it becomes your Janma nakshatra. Okay, all right. Satya Yoga. We'll break down the 4 yugas at a very high level, and please see part 2 as well, so you'll get a better understanding. Okay, all right. So the Satya Yuga, it is actually called the age of perfection or perfectionist. It is the ideal world of peace, harmony. Okay, it's a world where everything does everything right. Think of, in a way, that dharma at that time period stood firmly on all the four legs, right? Think when the cow is always represented, that is one of the reason cow is also considered very, sacred in Hinduism as well. Okay, truth, discipline, purity, and compassion were all practiced together at the same level. Life was very simple. People lived a very simple life, balanced life, and very peaceful. Okay, there is no confusion, chaos, conflicts, right? And they all aligned with each other. And truth was very important, and it is by default the virtue. Okay, from Treta Yuga to Dwapara Yuga. Okay, so after Satya Yuga, Treta and Dwapara happened. So Treta is where we connect with Lord Rama, and Dwapara we connect with Lord Krishna. There was a gradual decline, but it went in a little bit significant way. Okay, so as time moved from Treta Yuga, right, one leg of Dharma weakened. Okay, now discipline and spiritual focus began to reduce. Okay, discipline and spiritual focus began to reduce. Materialism, gains, right? Something like, let's say, this greed, all those things started increasing. Okay, now in Dwapara Yuga, another leg disappeared. That is when Krishna is. You see how the Mahabharata was literally fought, right? By cheating, how Abhimanyu was killed in a very tricked way, right? Abhimanyu was killed in a very wrong way. Okay, so a lot of things was done wrong in Mahabharata. Even the dice, trickery, everything, if you look at it, right? Even disrobing, Draupadi in front of everybody. And look at it in a way, all the Kauravas kept quiet, including Bhishma, Dronacharya, Gandhari, Dhritarashtra, right? Ashwatthama, Karna, Dushasan was involved, but everybody kept quiet, right? Vidur, I'm just thinking all the people, and it is really bad. Okay, it's really bad. Okay, so coming back, right? The so-called purity, in Dwapara, another leg completely disappeared. Okay, there it created further imbalance. Okay, conflicts increased, ego, greed, selfishness, materialism, all of it, and seeking other people's money, seeking person's women, everything, etc., became more. Okay, in Dwapara Yuga, and it created division further. The division started among people more and more. Okay, even though one can say the shift was timely, gradual, but not sudden, right? But what you saw in this was very significant. Okay, so each yuga, the progression happened, right? Moved away from the harmony, right? Small changes in values, right? But because of the larger period of time, it became significant. Okay, right? Okay, so Krishna's death also signifies the end of Dwapara Yuga. All right, now we are in Kali Yuga. We are almost around 5,115 years or so in Kali Yuga, approximately. This is the last Yuga, the last stage, the final frontier. Yeah? Okay, in Kali Yuga, the Dharma as the cow itself stands on one leg, okay, which is compassion. Truth, purity, and discipline, right, have weakened significantly and eroded to the highest level possible, right? That is why if you also see the whole world, right, feels very chaotic, okay, fast, disconnected, okay? We keep changing this because there's lack of clarity and lack of balance, right? The presence of virtue means there is some kind of hope, I would say, but it also reminds that goodness comes with a certain amount of intent. Okay, now think of this way. 25 years ago, we spoke about globalization. Okay, so now look at what it is when the President Donald Trump, who came last year, he said, "Make America great again." What does that mean then? You're kind of putting an end to globalization now, right? We want to protect local jobs. We want to see this, absolutely correct. But I totally agree. But globalization, what happened to it? Same thing, right? Modi again, right? India, right? Buy Indian products, Indian. So now we are killing the concept of globalization indirectly or directly, right? Right? But 25 years ago, it was all about the WTO and 2005, global globalization and MFN, most favored nations, all of that came. So things are changing in a way, very different. Rules are being redefined. What worked is before is not working now, and what is working now is not going to work in the future. Okay, all right. Now, what happens? We are standing on one leg as dharma here, right? As I said, truth gone, purity gone, discipline gone. Only one thing is compassion. So, what happens? This one leg falters or breaks down, right? This is the last yuga. Naturally, this when this leg disappears, right, the pralaya, which is the water thing, right, will come, will destroy everything. Of course, Kali Yuga is there, right? In Kali is going to come in the form of the Vishnu's 10th avatar, the Dasa avatar. And you already have certain people. Ashwatthama is already being protected and the curse is being removed for him already by Adi Parashakti, right? The curse of Ashwatthama has been removed. So he's there. He's a Chiranjeevi. Vibhishana himself is a Chiranjeevi. Hanuman is there, right? There are many of them to kind of work on these forces now for the destruction eventually. Okay, we still have a long way to go, absolutely, but food for thought. The water will create the destruction force as part of the Kali Yuga with Kalki. This is the Kalki avatar, right? Kalki is the last avatar. Okay, this is the end of the cycle, the fourth yuga. But does that mean it stops there? No. Destruction is the end. There is a beginning to it also. Okay, it is called as renewal. It starts again. So it's cyclical. If you see, it's like a circle. It's not linear, straight. Okay, then what happens next is a new yuga will start, which is again Satya Yuga. Okay, then you will have, after Satya again, you will have Treta Yuga, then Dwapara Yuga, then Kali Yuga. Okay, so it is not linear, it is circular. Okay, now again, right, in this whole process, even not only humans, even time, right, has this rebirth phenomenon as yugas here. The rebirth is also with the universe, with the cosmos, with time, right, as well as with humans. Okay, and it is always about a balance. That is one of the reason, if you see, Libra is extremely powerful, Capricorn is so powerful, right? Libra and Capricorns are very powerful, and the whole dharma is the ninth house Sagittarius. And if you see, the Sagittarius is a centaur with a bow and arrow ready for a war to protect the dharma. Yeah, so this is again part one of the essence of the four yugas. Now definitely watch part two. You will get a breakdown of a lot of things, what you are supposed to do in all these yugas, and specifically what you're supposed to do in Kali Yuga, which is the current age, right? What are the things you are supposed to follow? All right. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you soon in another video. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you.